Hey, all, it's Dinosa, and here we are here, and just another night, and just talking about another movie that I saw over the weekend, which I kind of wish I didn't see it, but I've been asked to do it. The movie I was asked to review was Haunted House 2. Um, I don't even know who it starred. I don't really care. It was like kind of a Wayans brother thing where it was kind of a tease off paranormal activity in the haunted house. Uh, well, the whole movie is a comedy of sorts. On that, it's a very cheaply made comedy. On that, and what I mean by that is it runs the same jokes. The whole thing is full of racist and very just racism jokes, which are kind of funny, but they're really not if you think about it. On that, but some of the scenes were hilarious, but some of the scenes were just straight up just gross and disgusting, and it didn't need to be like. Um, for example, the whole plot revolves around an interracial couple, a white girl and a black guy moving into a house. And the guy doesn't want to move in because he's spooked out by the house and he feels like the house is haunted. And then what happens is they come across some freaky doll. And while they're moving in, the girl or the wife, his wife, and her two kids from obviously another marriage that are moving in, and like the daughter on that, the daughter is going through teenage years, and the son, this little 7-year-old, is talking more like a black guy, and he's a white guy, a white kid, and I don't know, it was kind of bothersome to see that on that because it's just you try to look for comedy into it and it really wasn't. It was made for a completely different audience. That um like one of the scenes where basically you had the girl and you had she found this old doll up there, which later on you find out the doll's name is Abigail, and the doll and the dude in the film has sex with the doll. And I'm saying this as a spoiler because it really is. He has sex with it and acts like it's a real woman. But then you see him have sex with his woman, and he is this like kind of. There's some scenes that are just like, whoa, there's a little TMI there, and then other scenes which are funny, on that, such as like after round 3 with his wife. She's like, okay, time for round 4, and he's like sweating and dripping, going, no more, no more, I can't stand it, which is kind of funny. That, and he's like trying to crawl away from the bed, and like all of a sudden you just see him being pulled back, which was hilarious. Um, but then you have, but basically the whole thing is the whole house is being filmed. So all their sex scenes are being filmed, all the sex scenes with the doll are being filmed. Everything is being filmed in the whole house on that. So you have this correlation where the main protagonist character on the guy gets on with the doll, but previous to all that, it shows him breaking up with his ex girlfriend on that, which then later on comes back. But then he has sex with the doll. He has sex with his wife. Then that's all of a sudden all the freaky stuff starts happening. And I know they're trying to make it comedic, but it was just at times boring. And then I mean they show a very scene where they dropped. I mean on the CG they dropped a like a 200-300 pound safe onto a dog. Now this is like something out of the cartoons for Bugs Bunny cartoons, where I'm thinking where they drop a safe on top of a dog, and the guy's like, he's like freaking out, just overly freaking out on that, and it's just so acted. It's just, and the funny thing is, I could see the audience laughing at it, and that's the weird thing. I could see them laugh, but other people laughing about this. And then I can see the producers who did this are freaking laughing their asses off because people are laughing at this. When it was kind of like, yo, if this happened in real life, there'd be some real consequences with this. Like the movers would be sued, there'd be like remorse, so like he'd be here. So then later on, they buy him another dog. They put him in a box. The guy's in total freak out mode. Doesn't know what's happening. Doesn't know what demons are attacking the house. Comes across a box that's moving. He chainsaws the box. He goes to such lengths to destroy the box. And then later on, he finds out it's another dog. And I'm saying as a spoiler because it's just, ugh. And they're just like, and they make a joke out of it. And it's just like, oh, whatever. It was just so distasteful, I thought. And that's the funny thing. They make a total joke about it. It's not about animal cruelty on that. I mean, they even set you up for this because in the previews, one of the films they talked about that they were going to preview and bring to America was called The Green Inferno, which is just, I've never seen it, but I've heard about it, and I've heard it's just absolutely disgusting, and it's based off some real shit, like that happened in Peru, like these headhunters and just freaky-ass people, and it was banned in America and a whole bunch of other places, and they're finally bringing it to America. I don't get it on them. I don't know. We'll see on that one, but it's just, And then throughout the whole film, the guy's like trying to bring in other people to exorcise the demons and exercise and have everything work out. And then he's being comedian about it, but then like there's these innuendos, like his stepdaughter is getting like taken over by demons, and then she's like banging her head against the wall, and the mom says, "Oh, she's just going through a phase." He says that's not normal, and he was actually being the kind of voice of reason. And then they start packing up leaving. Then they 5150 his ass into jail. Then he comes back to jail, and he's talking to his college professor, and his college professor gets arrested for meth usage. And there's like just tons of like his college professors like, hold on, we're making meth. It's like, are those breasts back there? It's just stupid. And on that, the only thing that was really funny on that, and they even showed this kind of in the preview, was the next door neighbor who was Mexican, and he was hilarious. He was the one like, so the guy comes out and says, "Hey, can you fit me on Tuesday?" And he looks at him and goes, "What the hell, man? This is my house." And I could see how that, in some neighborhoods, how that could happen, and that's really awkward. That's just, okay. But then there were other funny stuff. And he's like, well, wait a minute, isn't that your truck? And the truck says Jose Gonzalez Gardening. And he looks at him and says, yeah, that's my truck. He says, what? He says, that's your house. He's like, yeah, I garden too. It's in my blood. And he goes like that. And then he talks about that. And he says, okay, what's your name? He says, my name is George Jose Gonzalez Smith. And he's like, Smith? He says, my mom was Mexican, my dad was white. And he says, okay, alright. And he said, tell me something. Would you trust a gardener with the name Smith? Good point. Good point. On that. And then they kind of, he turned around to him. I said, I bet your name is Malcolm, right? And your last name's Johnson, right? Oh, and that's the main character's name is Malcolm. And he said, your last name's Johnson, right? Or something like that. And he's like, man, that's heck of racist. Yeah, but you're right. So that was kind of funny. But then the best, there were two hilarious scenes with him. The first one was when the Abigail keyed up this guy's car, and then he says, hey man, do you know anyone who could do good body work? He said, what the hell? Do you think all Mexicans, I've got 6 children, brothers, and burritos, and all we have is gardening and body shops? And he's like, no, man, I just asked you, a good body shop. He's like, I'm messing with you, man. I'll call my brother Tino. Which was kind of funny, too. He says, what, do you think we all carry around lowriders and get burritos? And then he calls his brother and he drives off in a lowrider with his family of 6 kids. That was kind of funny. The second scene is when he's trying to exorcise the demon, and part of the exercise ritual is he has to cut a rooster's head off. And and I know they probably got this scene from Family Guy about this chicken and the guy fighting. And this chicken is the strongest chicken in the world. I mean, this chicken laid smack down on Malcolm. And they did everything. They threw this thing in the oven, they dried it, and they finally beat it up by throwing it into a ceiling fan. And the Mexican's like, you fucked that rooster up. And it was just stupid, but that scene was funny. On that, overall though, the movie, I don't know. It's like weird. It's like trying to be a comedy, but trying too hard to be a comedy. And it wasn't even that good. I mean, I guess for someone who, it's, that maybe into that, it's just, whatever, but it just was kind of boring to me. And then I watched it and I was like, other than the Jose, the next door neighbor, he was cool. Everything else was just like, okay, I've seen this. Okay, yeah, you're gonna do this. Okay, yeah, you're gonna do this. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like one of those teenage films, Meet the Spartans, meet this, meet that. It's just kind of like predictable, and it's kind of like, ugh. But then I can't make fun of them too hard, because I'll tell you all that comedy is one of the hardest things to do in music, movie industry and music industry and sitcoms. Real good comedy is rare, and it's tough. It either is freaking awesome or genius, or just sucks. And this was just going too much for the ghetto mentality, the ghetto thinking, and the comedy wasn't there on that. It was boring. It was boring. The story was uninteresting to hear. I bet you if he did a clone of of some other ones, I don't know, I could name several films that would probably have a better plot line other than ripping off freaking Paranormal Activity. It would have been a better story, and and there was no need to have all these sex scenes and all that, because it was a joke. They were stupid, and then the running gag is like, oh, it says interracial marriages are accepted, and it says, yeah, tell that to the sisters, and that. But then you see the sisters, then you find out they all have white guys. It's just, I don't know. It was boring to me. It was boring. I couldn't laugh. I mean, other than the Mexican, it was boring on that. So I give it like 1 star, maybe half a star. It was boring. It was stupid. I wouldn't even waste your time with it, honestly. Everyone. So anyway, this is Dinosa. It's Sunday night. I gotta get some sleep because I have to go to work tomorrow. But I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.